So as I said on my Twitter, I was going to do something a little bit different this week instead of my normal Let's Play. So what I wanted to do is, over here in the UK, it's Mental Health Awareness Week, and at the end of my What I Like to Do When I'm Sick video, I did mention fairly lightly that I suffer from depression and minor anxiety. So I thought that this would be a good time to talk about that. This is basically mini vlog episode 2, and from time to time I'll do a few more of these pieces where I talk a bit more to you. I'm also planning on a change to my Let's Plays where I'm going to talk more about my life while I'm playing the games. So you're going to get to know me more, and maybe in the comments we'll get to know each other more. The idea is that I'll basically, it'll be a biography of me, starting from birth all the way up to current events, and it should add something interesting and different to the gameplay. But anyway, let's get to what I actually want to talk to you all about today. So, as I said, I've got depression, and I say I've got minor anxiety. The reason why I say that is, for me, very few things get me seriously anxious, and those two things is basically finances and numbers of people. I do not like to be around a lot of people, so that's basically a social anxiety of forms. So I really despise shopping in like big stores and all the rest of it, because there's just so many people trying to navigate them, have the time and the ability to look through and find what I'm after without feeling like I'm in the way of other people. So I get really, it's a time when like stresses go very high for me. I only got diagnosed with depression back in October of 2018, so last year. Until then, I knew that I had something wrong, because life could be good, but deep down I didn't feel it. Always basically having this sort of sadness around me no matter what I'm doing, no matter how excited I am about things. Nothing was quite satisfying. And over the years, you know, all kinds of things would kick off, which would really send me into a deep stupor with the depression. I've been dealing with this since I would say since puberty, and I'm now 32, coming on for 33. So we're talking basically 20 years of dealing with this, and it took me basically 20 years to eventually go and seek help. Why did it take so long? Well, mostly because I was used to it. I didn't think anything of it, and I was just getting by, but it wasn't the best getting by. But I just took it as this is what life is. This is the way it goes. And a few years back, I lost my elder sister due to her own mental health problems. She took her own life, and that hit me quite hard. It hit me mostly because I was always her go-to when she got into these states, and this was the one time I couldn't pick up the phone to her because I wasn't in the country. And then the next day I find out that and I got gotten myself like in this depression. I got into suicidal states a few times, and last year I got there again, and I was extremely afraid that I would actually, I was basically, I was too close. It wasn't good for me. I didn't want to put anybody through that kind of pain. And so I decided enough's enough. I'm gonna seek help. And with the NHS, one of the greatest things that we have in this country is the fact that the fear of having to pay for that is non-existent. You know, you go, you can get help. It does take time, and that's one of my biggest disappointments right now in our country. Like, it should be turn up to the GP, and within a week you should be seen, and it's within 6 to 8 months, sometimes more, until you get seen. Part of that is that the system is not funded well. Part of that is that we don't have enough medical staff to cover it, and we're losing medical staff faster than we can replace them at the moment in this country, and that's just adding to the problem further. So yeah, I started therapy back in October, and I went through 20 weeks of CBT, so cognitive behavioral therapy. And when I started that, I'm going to be honest, the first thing that went through my head was, why am I doing this pseudoscience stuff? Why am I going through this nonsense? I just need something scientifically correct to get this sorted. Wrong thinking. Instantly wrong thinking. And the therapist that I got, thankfully, she understood my analytical style of thinking. So I have a science background. I look for, I do my research. I expect to have facts and evidence-based science and all of that. And I started doing my own research into CBT to understand it better, understanding it from a science point of view, and my therapist also helped. Decided to interrupt us. It's not actually working. The sun's over there, so I don't need this. Let's just roll it out of the way. Nice interruption. So I started doing my own research into it to understand how it works. And my therapist, understanding my style of thinking, actually worked that into it a little bit by making our sessions more of an experiment for me, instead of however they would normally do things. Honestly, I have no idea how she would have approached it to somebody else. But the fact that she's able to cater to different types of people was really good. So yeah, I've come out of that, and it's been about 2 months now of not having that as an option to go to talk about my issues and all of that. And to be honest, I'm happy because of the training that I went through has allowed me. I feel like I can cope, so that's good. But going back to what I want to talk about, the issues for me, a lot of my upbringing, I went through a lot of crap, and we'll go through that in the Let's Plays. But basically, I shut off a lot of my emotions. I decided that they were unnecessary, a nuisance, getting in the way. I didn't do a good job at that. For the most part, what that resulted in was only having an understanding of either not feeling it or feeling it to the extreme, and no middle ground, no concept of that range, no understanding of it building up. So that meant that I would go from being fine like this into a full-on rage or other such situations, no understanding as to why the snaps, or why the switches, it just happened. it also led to a lot of my friends having this belief that I'm the calmest person on the planet. I have absolute zen and nothing seems to be able to throw me off. The reality is that a lot of things that people would do to me would really internally upset me. But I wouldn't dwell on it or show it in those situations. But once I'm alone, how did I spiral on those on the things people said to me? And obviously these people thought it had no impact, so they felt it was fine to keep saying it. Not not a smart move, really. Yeah, so I got help. It's worked for me. Um, if you're struggling with these issues, honestly, you do need to seek help. Fighting it on your own is it's pointless. Okay, it's absolutely pointless. You're going to lose. But seeking help, seeking methods to handle this is going to work. It really is, and it doesn't mean it's going to go away. Depression doesn't leave you. I still know that those feelings are there. I know that deep down that's an internal thing that I've got for my life. But it doesn't control me anymore. It's a part of me, but it doesn't define me. And it doesn't have to define any of you either, no matter what your mental health issue is. If it's BPD, if it's bipolar, schizophrenia, it doesn't have to define you. There are mechanisms around to help you. And in some cases it has to be medicinal. But one thing that we have to all understand, and this is something that I learned from my own research, is these all stem from inside the brain. And the brain is probably the most complex, weird organ that we all possess. It has the ability to rewire itself to any style of thinking, to improve on tasks. So like us gamers here, right? Our constant gaming, our brain is able to rewire itself to improve on that performance, to improve on our reaction times, doing that, to improve on being able to focus on that single task. And it's the same with your mental health issues. The more that you focus on it, the more that you succumb to it, the more that the brain rewires itself to make that more impactful. And so the CBT is a training which slowly over time will let you rewire the brain away from those things. So when you're convincing yourself that you're not good enough, and you start working through the CBT mantras of, I think that I am not good enough, or and so on and so forth, you change the way that the brain reacts to those situations until it's rewired itself and reprogrammed itself to not react the same way, which is brilliant. It's a really good approach. So yeah, I'm glad that I opened myself up for it. I'm glad that I let myself go through it, and I'm not really sure what else to say. This is like the first time I'm properly talking about this. Part of the reason of me starting YouTube was so that I had a creative outlet for the depression. So in a way, this is kind of one of my therapy pieces. I have had a bad habit of having multiple personas, I guess is the way of putting it. So there is these very chill, calm, not so nerdy Nathan that some people know. There's the extremely nerdy Nathan that very few people know, the one that I'm truly comfortable as. I overtalk, I have a lot of those sort of behaviours, and I've tended to try and shut that down around a lot of people because of their reactions around that. But what you're all seeing is the me that I'm comfortable with, the me that I'm happy with, the gamer, the obsessive geek about various movie franchises, comics and manga, which I'll probably bring into this channel at some point. You saw all of the anime movies that I really am fond of, and I will probably get all my collection together at some point and do a top 10 of those and other good things. But I just basically wanted to have this opportunity to sit down and talk through this a little bit with you all. Over here in the UK, if you're struggling, if you're having suicidal thoughts, if things are happening in your head that you just don't understand, there are many places to go for help. And honestly, take advantage of the NHS service while you have it, and go and get that help. It's going to take time, but you will be able to get it. You really will. I definitely feel I have an advantage in London because we have a much better medical system down here than we do in some of the other smaller towns and cities. But still, go seek it, please. If you don't feel like you can go to the NHS, there are other places. Mind is a charity that is absolutely amazing for this, and again, I fully support them as a charity to go to. And at some point, I'm probably going to do a gaming charity stream where I want to try and raise some cash for them. There are multiple suicide hotlines as well, which again, if you're feeling at that point, reach out to them. They've got people that will talk you through it and help you get to the next steps. But you're only going to get help if you want help, and the help is only going to work if you want it. You have to get yourself to that state of going, I need help. And if you're not at that state, it's not going to work. But if you're considering it, and you think just like I did, it's going to be mostly nonsense, look into it. Really look into it. Because I was wrong. It's not a pseudoscience. It actually has quite a lot of proper scientific research put into it, and I know from my own experience that it works. I'm starting to understand what it's like to feel happy for long periods of time and not just lose it straight away. I understand now that my emotions have a range, they're not just on-off. I understand when things are starting to really rile me up, and I have the confidence to speak up about it and tell people. My life is definitely changing for the better, and it can for you as well if you're struggling. And there's always people. There are always people who will be there for you, even if you feel like nobody is there for you. That just means that you haven't met the person you're comfortable with who will be there for you. And the community I'm trying to create over on our Discord channel, there's always going to be people who can talk, people who will just chat to you. You're not alone. You're never going to be alone. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. You can see Remus over here. He's enjoying the sun. We've got quite a lot of sun today, so I thought I'd do this video outside. I'm gonna have to go back to work now. I just thought I'd use my lunch break to make this video. So yeah, give us a like if you like what I'm talking about. A dislike if not. Comment below if you want to chat about anything related to this video. I'm going to put links in the description for Mind and other charities around us, and some of the research on CBT. I might end up having to add those as updates to the description, because I've got a bit of a busy day today. I would like to get this video out a bit faster than yeah. So yeah, if you're new to the channel, if this video is what's brought you to the channel, give us a subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can keep up to date with our videos. Where, you know, after my next, I guess it's next 2 Let's Plays, which are going to be on Yoshi's Crafted World, which are already filmed. After those, we'll be starting to have more story time videos, which is probably gonna, I think after that, my next one that I'm going to do is going to be continuing one of the prior videos. We've got quite a few that I've started, so if there's any particular series you want to see finished, if it's Mario and Rabbids, if it's Starlink, if it's one of my many indie Let's Plays, let us know. I'm happy to prioritize for those following us. And yeah, I'm gonna get going. I've got tasks to manage and all kinds of other stuff, and board games this evening. So yeah, a busy bee. So yeah, until next time, thank you for watching. And